you're new. So today's video I had y'all vote on the community tab for if you wanted day in the life, cleaning, meal prep, or I think something like a family vlog weekend. And the majority said meal prep, which I was glad for because I needed to meal prep. So today, I don't know, I'm going to try to get everything done today except for maybe one thing I'll probably do tomorrow, which I'll still share in the vlog. But I've got, so I'm going to do 3 or 4 things. One of them's going to be a freezer meal, one's going to be a meal prep, and then one's going to be like a crock pot soup, kind of cleaning the fridge out, honestly, to make that. And then also, I'm going to make some pumpkin oat cookies, so it's like a healthier version of a cookie. So right now I'm trying to get my breakfast going, and then I guess we'll jump right in and start baking. Okay, so I got my little list here. One of the things I want to make is a harvest bowl. I'll kind of explain what that is later. The enchilada soup last year, let me see if I can find the recipe card. Last year when I done a Fall Food Friday collaboration, I done a chicken enchilada soup, and I'm pretty sure I made a card on this. Okay, so it's chicken tortilla soup. So this was my recipe from last year. I shared that. If I can remember, I'll link the vlog in the description with making this recipe, but here is the recipe card. So this is kind of like my general thing I do. So this one's really good, but I have some random stuff in the fridge that I want to clean out and make one. So I'm not going to go by this recipe. I'm just going to kind of make like a dump and go. I've got my chicken already thawed, so I'm ahead of the game today. This is my recipe card I'm going to be using for the cookies. And then Michael said he wanted banana nut muffins, and I told him I wasn't making any homemade because I had other stuff that I was doing, but I remembered I had these mixed. And he wants me to mix the two because he said he wanted chocolate chips in it, so we're going to try that. So one thing I will say on the pumpkin oat cookies, this isn't completely my recipe, so I looked up on Pinterest because when I made, I don't even remember how many ingredients, I made like healthy chocolate chip cookies maybe like 2 months ago in a vlog, and I loved those and I wanted to make those again, but then I decided, you know what, I want to incorporate some pumpkin, so I kind of just looked up a few ideas. So I looked at the measurements that this one recipe had, and then I'm adding a few different things, changing it just a little bit. It's a pretty generic recipe though, because it's very similar to the one that I done for the 3 ingredient, I think it was 3 ingredient healthy chocolate chip cookies. But so anyways, today's vlog is probably just going to completely be a meal prep vlog. I haven't done one of those in a while. I have been calorie counting this year to lose weight, and I've actually lost another pound. I'm at 253, so my starting weight was 290. That was the highest that I know that I've weighed, and I'm pretty sure it was the heaviest that I've been. So I'm very close to the 40-pound mark, which is pretty cool. I have a goal by the end of the year that I want to be at least 245, because that will have been like a 10-pound loss with the last 4 or 5 months of this year. So that's my goal right now, long-term goal, I guess. But I do better with doing the mini goals. Anyways, I've been calorie counting, and then I'll take breaks, and I've actually kind of been on a break right now. I'm not calorie counting. I'm just trying to sort of mindfully eat and watch the scale. So if I feel like I've kind of overate for a little while, and I also notice I've gained a little bit of weight, I back off for a few days. And then I don't snack a ton. I uploaded a little YouTube short this past weekend. It was like a little mini day in the life thing. And I can't even remember what all I had. I know I had tried the Chick-fil-A Autumn Spice milkshake, and then I had coffee and pancakes and something else in that vlog. And someone commented and said, "You like sugar, don't you?" And I kind of laughed because I was like, well, yeah, on that day, and probably a lot of the days that I share, I do. But in reality, I would much rather have carbs and things like pasta, bread, all that kind of stuff, than I would sugar, because I just kind of go through phases where nothing sweet sounds good, and then the next week it does. So actually, for the most part, I normally don't really care about that. My weakness is trying to cut back on those sort of things. So I'm still trying to lose weight, but also enjoy life and not stress about it. This week I'm not straight up counting calories. I'm just going to do this meal prep and kind of have an idea of how many calories is in each meal, and just sort of portion control. So I'm actually working on breakfast this morning. This isn't prep. This is just something randomly doing for breakfast. Okay, so I got my eggs fully cooked. I do not like eggs with runny yolks. It's just kind of weird to me. So I'm going to put my cheese over each egg. And then I've got some sausage patties that I cooked. And then I have these little carb counter tortillas. I'm not counting carbs, but these are so low calorie. They're 20 calories each. My sister had them and I tried them, and they are like so soft and have the best flavor for something that's supposed to be healthier, which, let's be honest, a lot of times stuff doesn't. And that is my little breakfast for this morning. Which reminds me, I was just telling Michael, I have like little plates. I have dinner plates and then like dessert plates in the same fall print as my fall bowls that I've been using in recipes. And I have gone through all my fall stuff and I do not see them yet. So I'm thinking there's a little small tote somewhere in the middle bedroom with that in it, and I've missed it. So they're supposed to match these leaf bowls, and I have 4 of them, and then I have 2 or 4 of the little mini plates too. Okay, so we're going to start off with the pumpkin oat cookies. I've got my oven preheated. Here we go, y'all. I got my oven preheated to 350, and I already showed the recipe card, so you can look at that for reference. So, some of these things I'm not going to measure, but for the actual recipe, you can refer back and take a screenshot of that recipe card if you want an exact measurement on something. So we got our 1 cup of pumpkin in our bowl. Also, how cute is this little spatula? There it is. Okay, so we got 1 cup of pumpkin. Now we need 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. I'm using the sugar-free one because this is what I have. And actually, to me, it's sweeter than regular. Not measuring. And 2.5 cups of quick rolled oats or quick or rolled oats. I have quick oats. Great value, of course. What else? And that one is ready. Okay, so there's that. And then you're supposed to have pumpkin pie spice, but I don't keep that on hand because it's just one more thing to have. I just shake the ingredients together. I think clove is in pumpkin pie spice. I can't remember. But I got nutmeg, ground ginger, and ground cinnamon. And then a good squirt of vanilla. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna sneeze. I might end up adding a few tablespoons of water to this. I'll see. Just to bind it together a little bit more. I'm gonna add just a little bit. Matt's at home. Gabby's at home. Okay, it's not sweet enough. One good thing about this is that it's eggless. So you taste it and see if it needs to be sweeter. If so, you add a little bit more maple syrup. You could also use honey or any kind of liquid sweetener, but the maple syrup is supposed to add like that fall flavor in here. So they're completely mixed, and they're supposed to honestly look clumpy like a dough. You're okay. And I ended up adding a little bit more cinnamon. Okay, I end up having to do so many weird things with my camera. So I have a phone that I film on. I always say camera, but it's my phone. And it has a wide angle zoom, and then it has like a 3x zoom, and then 1x zoom. And the 1x is a standard camera, and as y'all can see, my kitchen and everything is very small, so it always makes it really difficult for me to film because the 1x zoom, of course, is zooming things up, but that's like the closest that I can get to, I guess, like real life view. I don't know how I'm trying to explain it. There's not like a lens on there just as is. Like, you have to choose between the wide angle, the 1x, or the 3x. So it makes cooking videos quite hard, and my goal one day is that if I keep doing this and my YouTube channel keeps growing, that eventually I will get an actual vlogging camera. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I have to change my camera out a lot when I'm working in the kitchen. But anyways, so I was showing our dough for our cookies is formed. One thing is this is not going to expand in the oven. There's no baking soda, anything like that. So when you shape your cookies, you want to shape them to the size and shape that you want them to be once baked. Willow is fine, y'all. She's Willow. So the next thing is you're going to add, I don't want to say the word, but morsels. And you're supposed to just use this kind. So I was going to use these, and then I started thinking I have some of the butterscotch ones. So I'm not measuring this. I'm measuring with my heart, I guess. So I'm going to do a little bit of the butterscotch and a little bit of this one. And I think that's going to be good. Yeah. Good, Willow. I should have known better. I should have known better. I didn't really think that this was too rough. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. There's always a mess moment. Hence the fact of the channel name that I chose. Stick with the pure silicone. It's not gonna break. Okay, this is a little big for this one, but I'm gonna make it work. I have a baking sheet with my baking mat and took my rings off, of course. I'm gonna form 12 of these and then add some more chips on top because that wasn't quite as many as I needed. Okay, so this is what they look like before they go in the oven. I added more chocolate chips and butterscotch chips on top, and it ended up making, I think I counted 17 for me because I didn't want them huge. And these aren't going to spread, and I had thought about, because you can freeze them for up to a month, I thought about freezing a few, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to love them. I think they're going to be good. So we're just going to bake them and see how they... Okay, now we're going to do Michael's banana nut chocolate chip ones. These are just pre-made mix. I need 1 cup of milk, and the oven needs to be heated to 400. So I'll just have this mixed and ready and put them in when the cookies are done. So while the muffins are cooking, I'm going to get my chicken boiled for my soup. I have 2 chicken breasts and some water. I'm going to add a little bit of cumin, paprika, onion powder, and a chicken bouillon cube just to give it some flavor cooking into the actual chicken itself. And move these out of the way. These came out really good. I love the butterscotch in them. I'm so glad I added that. It really like upped the game. I'm gonna use the back burner that I never use because others are full. Okay, so I have 1 chicken breast left out of that package, and I need chicken breast for the tortellini bake and the harvest bowl. So what I'm gonna do is cut this into cubes and just cook it in a pan with like some salt and pepper, And then since this isn't going to be enough, I'll take 1 or 2 of my the Walmart like fully cooked grilled chicken and cut it into cubes, and then I'll just like half each one, if that makes sense, so that I have some of this and then some of like the grilled one for both things. Hurry, y'all. Willow's at the point of melting down. I've gone back and forth, but I got some olive oil in my pan hot, and then I'm just going to put some salt and pepper on this chicken. Ah! I hate getting raw meat on other stuff. So my chicken is done boiling. It smells really good, and I just turned it off. I'm going to let this cool and then let this cook. I actually have to head in right quick to the eye doctor. Long story short, I went this past weekend and was overcharged by like 50 bucks because of an insurance issue. So the lady, God bless her, she's always fixed everything for us. She finally got it figured out and called me and told me I can come back in and that they'll give me my refund. So I'm going to go in and get that. And when we get back, I will finish up with the meal prep and hopefully end up having a really good meal prep vlog for you guys. I'm glad that y'all voted on this one because this is honestly the one I wanted to do, but I try to occasionally let y'all pick. But I'm going to hurry up and go get that done and pick back up. Okay, back in the kitchen, about to work on this freezer meal. I'm going to do a chicken tortellini bake. I still have to get the grilled chicken out of the freezer, and then I'm going to split the chicken like I was saying earlier. But I just have a bag of the Walmart cheese tortellini. These were actually very cheap. I think they were under $5 maybe, but not a bad price at all. So, very simple. It's going to be dump and go style. You could even do this in a crock pot for a very quick meal. I've got some fresh minced garlic. Going to use some black pepper. This is the Alfredo sauce years ago I started eating. I love this one. It's got a very strong basil flavor, so if you don't like basil, you won't like this. And then I'm going to toss in some of these sun-dried tomatoes. I love adding this into food. Michael doesn't eat them, but he likes the flavors of all the foods. So, only thing is, I feel like I'm losing my mind because I know I bought some fresh Parmesan Asiago. I think it was shaved. Anyways, it was like shaved cheese. And I buy the little bag, use it in the fridge, and then when it gets close to expiration, I throw it in the freezer where I can use it for stuff like this. And I can't find it, and I know it was in there, and I cannot for the life of me think of what I would have used it in. I don't think I used it, but that's the only thing. We're out of that. We don't have any like grated Parmesan or anything. So at the point that I actually cook this, I will throw some cheese on top of that. But I'm gonna put this in the freezer. We have I think we have 3 appointments next week. So I'll probably use it for one of those nights. It'll be something quick. I can just pull out of the freezer that morning and put in the oven that night. So I went through my freezer meal stash. I kind of did it on purpose. I try to empty it out during the summer and then bake up things in the fall and the winter because it's like just nice to have a quick freezer meal when you need it for appointments or like if you're on the go a lot. And then also I like to, before it gets super hot, I usually put together a few and put them in the freezer. That way I don't have to cook everything completely, but I emptied them out on purpose because I've had a lot of people ask me, do I do freezer meals? So I'm going to start trying to share a few. I can't make a ton because we're limited on freezer space. Actually, on that note, I'm hoping it hasn't, but I think our refrigerator is going out because the refrigerator temperature is not as cold as we would like it, and the freezer is not freezing. It's now the temp that the fridge should be. So I think Michael's been looking into that. I don't know. I don't need it to go out, especially not at this time of year because now is the time where I'm doing all the cooking and stuff. So we're going to pray for it and hope that it works. But I'm going to get a disposable pan for this freezer meal. These are the pans I like to use, the ones with the lids. They've gotten quite expensive now, and you can also get a good deal on disposable pans at Dollar Tree. Walmart stays out of these, so I lucked out getting a pack of these. I need to start grabbing some more again before the holiday cooking starts. I found it. I knew I had it. So basically when the freezer went out, I put it over in this one and didn't even remember that. Got these. So we got all the ingredients. This is the chicken I use for literally everything. This is my last bag. I need to get some more. So this is one of my favorite ways to make a super quick and easy freezer meal. You can do this with pretty much any pasta, any protein of your choice, any sauce. It's just so easy. I got the tortellini because it has the cheese in it, so I don't have to add a ton of extra cheese. So starting off, I added a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of my pan so that they don't stick, and also adds a little bit of flavor. Then I added some of my sauce, and on top of that I added some of the sun-dried tomatoes. You could leave those out if you don't like them. I just really like them in pasta dishes. I don't always eat like the bigger pieces. A lot of times I'll cut them up, but the flavor is really good in stuff like this. And after you have that, then you're going to top it with your tortellini. I didn't end up using this whole bag. I saved a good, probably a cup of them, which I ended up making another recipe in a few minutes. I will show that. Then I added my minced garlic on top of that, my black pepper, some more sauce, and I never waste my sauce. I always end up putting some water or some milk. In this case, I use milk in the jar. Chicken is done. Willow's watching a cartoon while she eats, so sorry if it's a lot of noise going on. So I'm going to use about a third, well, anywhere from a third to half of this to go over this and just kind of poke it down in there. This is probably my favorite, like, Italian, Parmesan, whatever type cheese to add on salads and pasta and stuff. So I'm just going to add a little bit over the top. Not too much. Because, oh, that was too much. I'm going to add a little bit of oregano on top. This honestly makes it look prettier, but the flavor pairs well. And then just going to add my top on. Clearly got to clean the kitchen back up again from all the cooking mess, and I'm not completely done, so I'm going to put this in the freezer. If I were going to freeze this for a long time, I would freeze it solid and then put a little sheet of foil and then put the lid on. But like I said, we're going to use this next week. I pretty much always do all my casseroles and things on 375. I preheat to that temp. I will thaw this overnight in the fridge, and then it will be like soft, not frozen. And then I'm saying 20 to 30 minutes because that's generally about the amount of time that it takes. I'll be sure to show y'all an update next week and let you see what it looks like once it's cooked. The next thing that we're doing is the harvest bowls. I saw some ideas on Pinterest and just kind of looked at the ingredients. I'm going to use this chicken right here. I'm making 2 of these, so I think I'm going to save a little bit of this because I also want to do me like one little mini dump and go soup. So anyways, this is the chicken mixture, and then I have some sweet potato that I cubed up really small. I honestly wish I had remembered and bought the Walmart one that's in the freezer section because it's about this size and it's so much quicker, and I think it's only like $2, but I was using up some sweet potatoes. So I'm going to steam these in the microwave just to my liking. I'm going to add a little bit of water to this plate and steam it, and then once it's cooked, I have a organic red and white quinoa cup. I will split that between the bowls. The only thing is, so I can't decide what I want to use for like the dressing on it. Oh my goodness. I feel like at this point I should just break down and buy a maple Dijon or maybe honey mustard or something. I don't know. Some kind of dressing for all these fall type things that I keep making that calls for one. Huh? That's not cheese, honey. But I made something the other day. Oh, it was actually that like autumn inspired salad, whatever, that called for something like that. And I ended up using the light raspberry vinaigrette because that's what I already had open. So I might end up using that, but I think this would be good with like a balsamic or like a honey Dijon vinaigrette. Just something to kind of go over the top. So my sweet potatoes are done steaming. I got my 2 meal prep containers. I'm going to divide this quinoa since this is got a lot of toppings and I don't want a whole cup for meals. So I'm going to divide it between the 2. Top with the sweet potato, top with the chicken, and then assemble my sides. prep containers because if I have something where I can just grab and go, I'm more likely to eat it, but I always make sure to separate my cheese or it doesn't make anything soggy. So I'm gonna eat one of these for lunch tomorrow. I will show y'all it prepared. I did see people sometimes put it on a bed of mixed greens or spinach or kale. I'm just gonna eat it as like a grain bowl. So I've got my sweetened lighter sugar or reduced sugar cranberries, chopped pecans, a little bit of a little bit of feta, the sweet potatoes that are steamed, the grilled chicken, and then there's the red and white quinoa underneath. And I'm not going to pre-chop the apple. I had to give Willow some of it, but I'm also going to dice some of that up and put it in it tomorrow for this. They were all pretty much called like a harvest grain bowl, so this is what it looks like right now. So the, what is it, the chicken enchilada? Yeah, chicken enchilada soup I'm going to make tomorrow. It's 4 o'clock right now. This is about maybe a cup of the tortellini that's left over that I saved to make me one little small dump and go soup to go in my mini crock pot. Michael just doesn't get on the soup train with me, and he doesn't eat a lot of vegetables. And then I've got about maybe half a cup of chicken as well I'm going to pour into this bag. Okay, I hope y'all can still hear me over the cartoons. I'm also going to dump just a little bit of this minced garlic. This kind of just proves how I cook and do a lot of my freezer meals. It's not coming out. To use the spoon again. A lot of times I just take what I have and kind of like clean the fridge out and make a meal versus actually meal prepping. But I did kind of stop and meal prep for this vlog, of course. And then I have some of these leftover I need to use. I don't want to say it or Willow starts asking for everything and she doesn't even want it. There's maybe a tablespoon of these. So I'm going to pour that in there. I don't know. And then I also have one chicken bouillon cube. I'm just going to toss in there some of the basil paste. I love this stuff. It's honestly more fragrant and flavorful than fresh basil to me. What in, baby? Maybe about a tablespoon or so. Gonna add a little bit of red pepper for some flavor and some heat. Basically anything I can turn into a casserole or pasta, I also can turn into a soup because this is a lot of the same ingredients. Just gonna add a few of these sun-dried tomatoes in here as well. So I had like a good handful of spinach that hadn't gone bad. Literally cleaning the fridge out here, trying to do this one-handed. And then I have a can, this is a small can of sliced carrots that I've drained. Pour that in there. Another random thing, I have a bag with some celery, bell pepper, and onion that I had some left over and froze. I'm going to pour the rest in that soup tomorrow, but I'm going to use a few little spoons in this little mini bag of soup just to give it some extra flavor. Put it back in this little freezer. We use this mini freezer. This used to be for milk when Willow was in the NICU, but now I just use it for vegetables and like food for her and I. So once I make this soup, I will literally just dump it in my mini crock pot, add some water and a little bit of milk or like whipping cream to make it creamy, and then this is my go-to, this cheese I was using earlier. I will top with it, and that'll be about 2 portions, maybe 3 by the time it's done. So that's honestly like one of my biggest tips and ways that I have managed to lose some weight. I've lost 37 pounds. But it's dump and go soups, because I feel like if I have something there that's quick and easy, where like if Michael eats something that I don't want to eat, or it's like really high calorie or something, then I have options besides just like a sandwich or a salad or something. If I have something that I know I can like just plan ahead and throw in the microwave even, or the stovetop or the mini crock pot, that has really saved me so much. I think that's like a 2-quart cooker, that has really helped me a lot because I feel like it's given me variety enough to feel like I'm not getting bored with food. And also I have saved a lot of money with leftovers. I don't waste anything. Point proven, just the randomest little amounts of vegetables in the freezer. And as long as they're not old and like you keep it rotated and used up, you don't have like old stale freezer taste. So if you're trying to lose weight, invest in a 2-quart crock pot or a slow cooker and make little mini bags of soup. Do it with your refrigerator leftovers. Clean your fridge out, clean your freezer out, whatever, and just keep some built up. Good morning. It's the next day. I'm getting this like dump and go style chicken enchilada, chicken tortilla. I guess it's more like chicken enchilada soup in the crock pot so it can be cooking all day. So yesterday when I made the chicken, when it got done, I just shredded it up. Oh my god. Y'all, I can't. Okay, let's try that again. This stupid deal I was explaining about how my camera has like the wide angle, the 1x or the 3x zoom on it, makes things look like, I don't know, it throws off the distance between certain things. So sometimes when I'm looking at the screen instead of what I'm doing, I'll end up doing something stupid like spilling that. Anyways, yesterday I boiled that chicken and then I shredded it up for crock pot soups. I try to leave my chicken a little bit bigger because in the crock pot it's going to fall apart smaller, which is what I want, but I don't want it to just like shred into little hairs almost. So I'm going to use a drained can of corn. I drained and slightly rinsed my black beans. You don't want your soup to look muddy. I drained the Great Northern beans. Reduced sodium chicken broth. Most of these are no salt added. Always get that if you can. A can of the green chili enchilada sauce, some minced garlic, a little bit of mild salsa, and then the chicken. And then I have this bag with a little bit of the bell pepper, celery, onion mixture, and then one big onion I'm just going to toss in there just to use up. And once it's done cooking, I actually also have some homemade leftover Mexican rice that I made, and I'm going to pour that in there and taste it and see if it needs something else. Ooh, don't need to make any more messes. Okay, so I'm going to give it a good stir. It already smells really good, and it does look a little bit watery and thin, but that's because I wanted extra water since I'm going to have the rice to add to it towards the end. So I'm going to put it on low, and it is 10 a.m. We will eat around 5:45. I'll put the rice in like the last probably 10 minutes of cooking since it's cooked, and I will show y'all the end result. I forgot to share, last night I ended up finding my fall dishes. These are from Dollar Tree like 6 or 7 years ago. I have 4 of the little leaf plates, 2 of the leaf dinner plates, and then 4 of the orange dinner plates. So I'm happy I actually found those. So I forgot to mention I ended up adding half a pack of this fajita seasoning. You could also use taco seasoning. The only reason I waited till the end to do this was because, like I said, I ended up adding some Mexican rice that I already had left over in the refrigerator. And since it had some of that flavor to it already, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't too salty or anything. So remember to add half a pack, whether you use the taco seasoning, the fajita seasoning, or I guess you could just kind of season it to your liking. I really like this fajita seasoning though because it made it a little bit different from the taco soup. I always like to eat mine with a little bit of cheese on top, and sometimes I'll add avocado, sour cream, a little extra salsa or hot sauce, and then I cut up a corn tortilla, toss it in some oil, put it in the air fryer, make some tortilla strips, and that's how we like to eat it. So it's the next day, and this is the like the harvest grain bowl or whatever. This thing is so good, y'all. And weird as it is, I did not even want a dressing on it. I put a little bit of sriracha after I ate this, and I don't know, the sweet combined with the savory, the salty, the spiciness, it was just a really good combo, and I will definitely be making this again. I highly recommend it, and I'm actually kind of glad I didn't turn it into a salad, and I paired it with the spiced apple drink. And then I had my little cloche thing that I put my cookies in for decoration. It turned out so cute. Remember to either eat these within 3 days or store within the refrigerator, or they could mold and go bad. You can also store these in the freezer for up to 1 month. Thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. Don't forget to subscribe and come back for more. I try to upload every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am wrapping up my fall decorating for the season, and my plan is that the next vlog goes up on Friday, and it will be the fall mobile home tour after I have already cleaned and decorated and all that. I still have the bathrooms left to go to decorate. I decided I'm just not going to share that this year, or I will end up getting so in over my head that I run out of time. So I will do, I guess, a bathroom reveal and final look on the house whenever I do that vlog. I'm excited about all the upcoming vlogs. I plan to share a lot of recipes and baking and just all the cozy homemaking type things. I'm excited also. This year I'm planning on trying to do Vlogmas, so be sure you stick around and don't forget to hit the notification bell where you don't miss an upload. And I'll see you guys on Friday at 5 p.m. Bye.